Hi everyone, and welcome back to another BTLO Replay. Guys, this is an interesting lab, but let's get into the proper introduction. Be sure to follow us on X, LinkedIn, or join our Discord server to keep in touch. Guys, Discord is growing. Tap in with us. Right? BTLO community is growing. It is growing. We have links in the description box below, so feel free to check those out. Now, we are looking into a lab called Rekcod. Now, I don't know too much about this lab. Jeez, look at the date. What is that? Almost 3 years? A 3-year-old lab. This is crazy. Oh my gosh. So we'll see how this goes. Not sure if people know this exists. This is my first time seeing this lab. So we're going to give it a good shot. Looks like the scenario wants us to, let's see, it's easy to casually pull a Docker image from a Docker hub and run it, but can you trust them? What if you need to create a Dockerfile from an image? P.S. You may find a tool staring at you to help you through the lab. Interesting. So this seems to be roughly 7 questions long. So short and sweet, but let's get into it. Actually, one more thing. We need to cover what a Docker image and a Docker container is. I think this is going to help us, really go through this lab. So I'll see you guys on the next slide. All right, guys, I am on AWS, I guess documentation, and this article, blog, whatever, is going over the difference between a Docker image and a Docker container. So we're going to read the thing in purple. Docker images are read-only templates that contain instructions for creating a container. A Docker image is a snapshot or blueprint of the libraries and dependencies required inside a container for applications to run. So I see this as like, a guide, right? Kind of like a guide. Let's say you have a little toy set, a Lego block toy set, and the instructions, they're the image, right? This is where this goes. This is how you build this, right? That's the difference between a Docker image and a container. Now, when we talk about container, which I know this lab is not going into, but it's best to talk about the definition. Containers allow developers to package software on any target system, right? As you guys know, certain software works on certain OSs, right? But it seems like a container allows us to run it regardless of the OS, right? This is really, really interesting. So more about that, definitely give this a read. But we might be using some of these commands, some of these Docker commands actually, looking at, yeah, we're definitely going to be using some of these commands. I have a feeling. So definitely give this a read, and I'll see you guys in the lab. All right, we are in the lab, right? So I don't even think we have an investigation folder. Yeah, this is a very old lab. There's not an investigation folder, which is interesting. So yeah, there's nothing here. I guess everything will be done in the CLI. All good. Let's boot that up, and let's take a look. Bring this over here. Hopefully you guys can see it. Let's take a look at question 1. How many Docker images are there? Now, if you guys are familiar with the Amazon documentation we went through, it actually went over the commands on how to check for this. So again, give that a read. And yeah, I gave it a little overview prior, so we're going to try to run these commands live. So let's see. First, we're going to run sudo, and we'll break all these commands down. I just want to run it, see if it works. Let's see, sudo docker image, that was present. We'll do ls, right, to list, -q, and again, I'll break all this down. Just let me see if it runs first. Oh, and see that does this thing. But again, the question is asking us for Docker images. Again, these are blueprints, templates, and there you go right there, right? So it gave us the count, which I think that's what the question was looking for, actually. Let me double check. How many Docker images are there? We got 11. Yeah, we got 11. Hold on. Let me run one more command real quick, just want to show you guys how these images look like. Let me remove the pipe. There we go. Is that 11? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, okay, cool. So there we go, 11. So we double check both ways. So, and I'm gonna put that in for our question, but let's actually break this down. So let's verify how many Docker. So there is 11. Cool. But let's break down the command. So we ran sudo, right? That's to give us, super user privileges, right? Necessary to run Docker. We ran the command ls, guys, and we do have a bash course launch by one of my fellow colleagues. I'll probably flash that on the screen. But we do have a bash core launch if you do want to get your bash commands up as well too. So definitely check that out. It's free and it's on our e-learning platform. But coming back to this, right? So ls again lists all the Docker images on the system. We did -q. That stands for quiet mode, right? That's pretty much it. So we don't want anything else. We just want to output the numeric IDs, which you see right there. They seem to be strings, right? Combination of characters, numbers, and all that other stuff. We ran the pipe command, right? Which you can see right here. This is the pipe command, which sends the output of one command, which was this, as an input to the other command right here, right? And then lastly, WC, which stands for word count, and -L goes into the number of lines, right? List the number of lines. But yeah, that's pretty much it for question one. Really, really fun. Hopefully that explained the command use. Again, give the Amazon article a good read. We're going to jump into the next one. Question two. What directory is created in the Redis image, and what user group owns the directory? Interesting. All right, let's take a look. Again, using our Docker command skills mixed with some bash. Let's run this, right? We're doing that sudo again, trying to make sure we have that super user privilege, right? Sudo docker image, right? Because we're investigating the images. Let's do the history. All right, see if we can pull some things from there. It might be really, really old. Again, this is a 3-year-old lab, so we'll see what comes up. And then we're going to specify Redis. I think that was one of the images. And let's see if this goes through. Oh, shoot. Okay, the output's kind of strange. A little bit better. All right, what do we have here? Let's see, what is it looking for? What directory is created? Oh, guys, there you go. Again, enroll in our bash course. We talk about all this. You see mkdir, right? That shows that the user is making a directory, which appears to be data. And it's asking for, let me see the question. User group who owns the directory. Right here, shown. Right, which again, I believe that goes into change owner. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's covered in our bash course. And you see is Redis. Right, so very, very interesting. Again, I think we pretty much covered the commands already, right? Sudo docker image history. Again, looking at the history of said docker image, and we specified the docker image, which was Redis. So let's actually put that in. It's actually a pretty fun lab. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm kind of wonky when it comes to these old labs. There we go. So question 2 went through. All right, question 3. Let's take a look at this. Where's the index.html file in the image Explorer Fedena? What permissions does it have? This is an interesting one. Tough one, I'll be honest. So let's follow the guide. Or follow what I'm doing, because you might get lost. So first we're going to run sudo, right? Again, docker. But a little bit differently, we're going to run the Docker container interactively, right? So we're gonna run it. So what's the command for that? Run and -I is for interactive mode. And I believe if you do IT, I forgot what it goes into, but sudo something. Again, look it up, but you can do -I, -IT. I'm doing -IT. We're gonna run this interactively. All right. What do we run it? What do we want to run it against? This container Docker image, which will be Explorer. Hope I'm doing this right. Explorer. Okay, let's give this a shot. Okay, so that didn't go through. Oh shoot, hold on. Explorer. I think that. Hold on, let me try this real quick. Fedina 2, 3. Okay, I think that's gonna go through. Oh, okay, so I'm in root mode. So, man, this is so much. Let me try this command right here. Hold on, let me see if I ls. Oh, shoot. Okay. Start Fedina. Guys, I am not a Docker expert. I think the concepts is interesting, so I'm learning as well too. Sorry, we should be looking for the index HTML file, right? So let's run the find command. And we're gonna filter for any reference for index HTML. Usually index HTML is the home page of a website. So let's give that a shot. Oh shoot, okay, we got some stuff. User lib Ruby. Oh, hold on. Let me see our question again. So it wants the path to file and then permission. Let me try this one right here. Copy. And let's do a LSLE and then paste the path. See if that works. I'm just going to pick this one out because it stands out from the rest. Right, add user examples. And then we have the permissions right here. So I believe the first one goes into the owner, group, and then everybody else. Right? So, and if you don't know, right, R is for read, W is for write, X, which is not showcased in any of these groups, is for executable. Let's try this one more time. There you go. And I was asking for the permissions. Let me actually erase this. So once the permission octo, I'm gonna show you guys something really, really cool. So let me just paste this, and I'll show you something really, really cool. All right, so this is the CMOD calculator. But if you still remember from the last page, right, the owner had read and write. They didn't have execute, right? And just to give you the background of the number, right, read is 4, write is 2, execute is 1. All the three of them together gives you 7. 7 is pretty much all writes, right? So you could pretty much do this in your head. You could calculate it in your head. Let's say I want owner to have writes, all writes, group to have no writes, and public to have only execute, right? So you could do 7, 0, and 1, right? We could actually test this out. We could do this, right? 7, 0, 1. Bam. Owner has all rights, group has 0, and public has only execute, right? So let's see the octal number. So it was read write. That was from the owner, and I think the group and public only had read and write. So that gives us 644 for our octal number, right? Right here, that you can see right here, the octal number. So let's go back to the lab. All right, I'm back in the lab, and let's actually paste that in. 644. It went through. That was a tough one. Hopefully I didn't lose anybody with that one, but pretty much what we did, right? We ran the Explorer, Fedora, I forgot the name of the Docker image, Fedina Docker image, right? We ran it interactively, and then we looked through the Docker image that you can see in the second output. You can see right here, and then we filtered for the index file, which was in question, and we want to see the permission of said file. Now I chose this one, right? It just stuck out to me compared to the rest, right? Ruby gems, not too familiar with that, but when I saw user share doc add users, I'm like, you know what, let me get this a shot. But yeah, out of all these 6 choices, it was this one, right? So hopefully that made some sense, and let's get into the next one. All right, guys, we are on question 4 now. When is the creation date for the OS-like layer in the DD portal bats something image, right? So this is a difficult one, and I had to find an article to really understand what it was talking about, and we'll transition to that right now. So I'm at this article by Frank Chung, right? And it's actually a pretty recent article too. It goes over helping us restore / roll back layers from the Docker image, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to roll back the layers and see the creation time for the operating system like layer in that bats image, right? I won't read through all this. Give this a read. I'll see if we can throw this in the description or not. But if not, that's the title. Give that a read, and it's going to explain many of the commands that I am running on the lab. So let's jump back to the lab. All right, so we are back in the lab. Let's get started. So let's do this. Hold on. Sudo docker image ls, right? Fedina, that was in our last question. So we're going to be looking at this right here. That is the one mentioned in our question. If you remember from question 1, all we really did was pull the image IDs and counted them, right? So now we're actually listing the repository tag and everything else. So pretty interesting. You can see this one is a large size. It's one of the largest. Sorry, no, I was looking at the wrong one. This one is one of the smallest. So yeah, we're going to take a look inside, see what's going on in here. So what we're going to do, let's see, how do I want to do this? Let's make a new directory. All right, just going based off that article. Let's see, new. There we go. And let's save. Do a sudo docker save. So we're going to save the specified Docker image, which bats. I'm just going to call it bats. We're going to save bats into this new directory. So let's do this. Sudo docker save -o. Please show for output. New dir tar dd portal. Let's give it a shot. Alright, so pretty much we're just, again, saving that Docker image, the bats, as a tar archive, and we could just double check if that went through. It probably went through here, so we could do ls new. Yeah, there it is right there. Cool. Let's go into that directory and let's extract it using the tar command, which should be installed on this box, or it should be installed on basic Linux distros. Okay, I'm getting permission denied, so let me try sudo. Did I go through? Yep. Okay, so pretty much what I did, I ran the JQ tool. It's a tool for processing JSON, and it prints the manifest JSON file in a good format, right? You can see how it's structured, indents, and all that stuff. Instead of me catting it out, excuse me. So why are we looking into this file? Well, this file contains, metadata about the Docker image, in this context, bats, and it goes into the layers that makes up the image, right? So the layers are listed from, I think, oldest to newest, top to bottom, right? So if you look over here, we can see the first layer, right? And it goes down again from oldest, and this is the newest layer on the bottom, right? So the question, take a look at it again. For the OS like layer. Hey, quick correction. When it talks about OS like layer, because I actually did some Google search, it's going into the base layer, right, of the Docker. So this is the base layer. And OS, yes, it is operating system, because that serves as the foundation for, software libraries and codes to sit on top of it, right? So just wanted to add that quick correction there. So that does make sense that, yes, this is the OS like layer. This is the basis, the foundation. This is the concrete. Now we can add the pillars and all that other stuff on top of it, i.e. all these stuff. So cool. So let's take a look at this layer right here. Right, you could clearly see we're looking at the layer tag. There's a certain command I have to run. Okay, I'm back. I know what I messed up on. So let's actually go into the directory. These are actually directory files, right? So we're going to go into the, right, this is the oldest, right? Top to bottom, oldest to newest, right? So we're going to go into that oldest layer, which is the A612, CD into that, A6, there we go. I forgot these were actual directories. LS, here we go, yep. All right, so we have the version JSON layer. We're going to take a look at the JSON file, and that should give us the creation date for that layer, which is the oldest. And JSON, and there's the date right here. And let's give that a shot. And there we go. All right, question 5. All right, let's take a look at it. See what's going on. We're almost done. In the image bats, the repository is cloned from the GitHub user account ztumble in a layer. What is the URL to the repository? So what we could do, we could grep. All right, I'm back. I didn't really find too much information, so but let's resort into doing some OSINT, right? Because it is looking for GitHub. What is it? Looks like it's looking for a GitHub repository. So we'll do some OSINT, do some Google foo. All right, so I just looked it up on Google. I typed in ztumble. This has nothing to do, but I found two. Actually, I could have filtered for GitLab sites. So you can see we have. What is this? Zim bat support. That actually lines up with the bats we've been seeing. What is this? Bats core, GitHub, blah blah blah. Right, let's give it a shot. I mean, it doesn't really hurt. Let me just copy the link. I'll see you guys in the lab. All right, so we're back. I'm just gonna paste the repository link here. Get rid of that. We got the protocol, URL, domain, and then the path, which is bat support. Let's give it a shot. Doesn't hurt. And that actually went through. What are we on? Question 6. Almost done. What is the value set for the variable WordPress blah 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 and the WordPress blah 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 image? All right. Cool. So we have the image, so we could just do a inspect on said image. We don't have to be doing too much, right? So sudo docker. Actually, I wonder if it's going to work in this. It shouldn't matter what path I'm in. Actually, let me back up a little bit. It shouldn't really matter what path, but just to play safe. Sudo docker. Now we're using this command, right? Docker image inspect to retrieve, detailed information about the Docker image, right? And the detailed information goes into stuff like variables, right? Let's see, inspect. WordPress, can I type it out? I can't. All good. CLI PHP 8.0. Let's give that a run. Oh my goodness. What the heck? This is a... No way. Yeah, we might have to pipe or filter for this. This is a lot. This is a lot of information. Hold on. Look right here. I think that's one. Let's see. What is the value set for the variable WordPress CLI GPG key? WordPress CLI GPG is right here. You can't make this up. All right, there we go. And boom, went through. Whew. All right, we are on the final question. Question 7. What is the efficiency score and wasted space for the HVM and HHHVM image according to the no secret tool? Now, I'm not a huge fan of this question because when you look at the lab page, if you guys still remember, you could scroll back to the video. The tools that were mentioned were Docker and JQ, right, which we used. This tool we're about to use right now is not even mentioned on the lab page. Right? I know this is an old lab, 3 years old. It's not fair to students who are not familiar with this secret tool, right? So I had to do some research, and let me show you the secret tool. All right, so the tool is Dive. We're going to be diving into this in the lab pretty soon, but it's a tool used to explore each layer of a Docker image, right? Not going to go through all this. Give it a read. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to be using some of these commands here. Let's see. Yeah, and that's going to give us some information, especially when it comes to the efficiency score and wasted space, right? So, interesting. Again, I'm not a Docker Pro. I have no idea of this tool, but if you were said Docker Pro, then you probably knew of this secret tool. We don't know. But let's jump into it. See you in the lab. All right, we're back in the lab. We're going to be using the alias as seen in the GitHub, right, to make the process a little bit easier. Let's see. Alias for the Dive tool, so we can make the process easier. And I'm just trying to remember. Yep, looks good. And again, follow that GitHub guide I showcased earlier if you want to learn how to do the alias thing. For time's sake, I think I added 2 quotes. There we go. Let's run that. All right, so we have the alias in place. Now let's run this for the image, or against the image, which is the HHVM. Alright, so I don't know how long this is going to take, but if it takes long, I'll just jump cut. Alright, so we're back. We got the results. A little cool outlook here. I don't know what the heck's going on, but this is this is super cool, actually. But we found the information we need here, so we're just going to get in and get out. So we have the potential wasted space, which is 9 MB. Right, and then we have the image efficiency score, which is a 99%. I think that's what the question wanted those two. Yeah, efficiency score, which is 99, and then wasted space, which is 9. I'm not sure if it wants 9.0, but we'll just do this first and give that a shot. There we go. We just knocked out Docker, right? Sorry, this lab's not called Docker. Rekcod. Strange name. Very interesting lab. Picked up some new things. Hopefully this was entertaining and informational for you guys. Again, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to never miss a video. In the meantime, remember to join our Discord. Tune in every Friday at 6 p.m. BST for BTLO Replay. You guys have a good one. Take care.